Hello everyone, this is Candy, the 614 Stitcher, and today is Sunday, July the 23rd, 2023, and this is my Flosstube episode number 88. I would like to say hello and welcome to any and all new subscribers. Thank you so very much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to check out to see if there's something I can enable you with. And to my returning friends and subscribers, thank you so very much for coming back each and every time that I do upload a video. I am back and back from retreat, back from summer stitch. It has been a wild 2 weeks. And so I just want to thank you all for your comments. I appreciate you also checking out my mini whip parade video. I will be doing an autumn whip parade before the autumnal season does start. So thank you also very much for your comments on my whip parade. And on my last Flosstube where I talked about preparing to go to the Silver Needle, I had a wonderful trip. I'll be inserting pictures as we go along because I have a lot of pictures and a lot of things. We started out on Monday morning going to the Silver Needle and well, let me back up. So this video is going to be about my trip and the retreat to the Silver Needle in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And as I go through each step of the trip, each leg of the trip, because there were more than one leg, I'll be showing all of the investments that I purchased at that time to keep the video just moving forward at a good pace. I have a lot of investments. I also have gifts, and which I'm not going to be showing because I have so much, and I don't want to put up a 3-hour video or a 2-hour video. So I'm going to just talk through the legs of the trip as we got started, and then it'll just keep rolling. I will be showing a new start, whips, and a finish that I have as after all of the retreats and travel information. So I hope that you all will grab your stitching, grab a glass of water or your favorite beverage and stick around and view the video through its entirety. So I had a really good time. There were 4 of us that all went together. Me, Miss Jan, Miss Susan, and Miss Lenny. Those ladies all, well, Miss Lenny is retired now, but they work at Keepsakes, and we went to Tulsa for the Silver Needle retreat. And I do have my fan on. I don't know why. These lights, I'm going to tell you what. I have a ring light over top of me. I have another light over here. And I have my kitchen light on. And the lights are just making me hot. Because it's not that warm outside. Well, it is. It's in the 80s, upper 80s. But it's not hot enough for me to be doing all of this. Okay. So let's first kick off where we started. We left Cincinnati, Ohio on Monday morning around 7:30. I went down the day before and spent the night with Miss Jan so that I wouldn't have to get up at like 4 o'clock in the morning, which is normal for me, and drive down. So I went the day before. They fixed me, her and her husband Gary fixed me a lovely dinner. It was so great. And then we got up and went to meet Miss Susan and Miss Lenny. And as I'm talking about this, I'm going to be putting pictures in because we rented a van for the trip, and the back of the van was packed. We still had a lot of room though. Like the window wasn't covered, so we all figured we was doing pretty good with our packing since we didn't have it stacked to the roof. So we drove, that first day we drove from Cincinnati to Springfield, Missouri, where we went to Color and Cotton. Angela is the nicest person. She was so attentive, but when we didn't need her, she went about doing her own thing at the shop. She opened up specially for us because she's not open on Mondays. So she came in special. We were there for over 3 hours, going through all the fabric, all the threads, just beautifully displayed, all the things, everything was nicely organized. She was just the nicest lady. And so at Color and Cotton, I purchased this little bag, and inside the bag I found a chart. Welcome Autumn. That looked backward. That looked weird to me when I looked at that. And you know, I'm always looking for autumn pieces because I don't have a lot of autumn. So when I saw that, I picked it up. And then I bought this bag so that I could, you'll see as I go along, everything is inside of a bag so that I could keep it all organized on the way, while I was away and when I came back. So then we're going through all of, and I should still be putting in video pictures, but now I'm going to show you what I purchased at Color and Cotton. So there were fabrics galore. If you are ever in Springfield, Missouri, Missouri, please go and check out her shop. She does have business hours. She also has, if you call her ahead of time, she will come into the shop for you, like if you're just passing through or something like that. It was awesome. So let me show you what I got. These are all limited edition colors of fabric, and her bins range from 1/8 of a yard all the way up to a full yard of fabric. She also will cut pieces in those sizes. So like if you see a yard of something but you only need 1/8 of a yard, she will cut it and serge it right there at the shop for you. It was wonderful. So this is a gray and you know, if you've been around for a while, gray is my ultimate neutral, so I love gray. That was a 32 count gray, and I actually have something picked out for that. Then this is a 28 count. It is a different color, I know, but the camera seems to be making it the same color. It does have a little bit of modeling in it, but not a lot. You can see that. So I really was on the neutral hunt. All of the fabric clubs that I'm in, I seem to be getting colors. So I need to move to getting a little bit of neutrals. So I did pick up a 46 count. And that is what that looks like. Again, there is no color name. They are all just called limited editions. So that was my 46 count that I picked up. And this is a 40 count. And I did all of the cuts that I picked were 1/8 of a yard. So that's a really pretty neutral. And then this is a 46 count, no, Oh, no. Yes. A 46 count Bristol. And it's also a neutral. And the camera is not picking up what the true color is of this. It has a slight pinky undertone to it. That may be a little better. Just wonderful, wonderful. I mean, just fabric out that you could touch and look at and hold up and all of that. And this is a 40 count Newcastle. It's a little darker than that, but that's pretty good. So those were all the fabric purchases at Color and Cotton. Then we was going through the bin and I happened to find and this is due to the enabling of Kate Stitchy Aardvark. I have been watching her stitch on Carolyn Manning designs, and I am like, oh, I gotta get one. So I found one, and while we were at the shop, we did a complete color conversion. The called for flosses for this are DMC, and this is Starlight on the Water. And again, we did a complete color conversion on this. And if I am not mistaken, it can be stitched on, the call for fabric is a 14 count antique white. I won't be using that. This is actually a new chart. It just came out in 2023. But so let me show you. We kitted it at Miss Susan the Floss Whisperer, Susan Coates, X Stitch Fancies on Instagram. She is amazing when it comes to color conversions, as you all know. If you've gotten any of her boxes, or you've seen me show her color conversions on here also. So we went from DMC and kitted it all up with Color and Cotton threads. And here are the colors. So we changed them all from DMC. This is Unique Blue. Unique Blue. Shining Sea, Great Falls, Dark Indigo, Wisteria, Under Your Spell, which is a really pretty dark purple, and then Celestine. There's the name, and that's the color. So I am anxiously waiting to start this. I wanted to start it while I was out of town, but just did not get the opportunity. There was so much going on while we were gone, which is why I did not get a chance to start it before I got back, but I will be starting it soon. So those were the, and I'm trying to decide. I had initially thought that I would stitch this on this 32 count. Oh, and it still looks pretty good. On this 32 count Color and Cotton, because there's several different sizes in the chart. of what size it will be. It is not a big chart, but I am going to weigh out my options. I think I'm still going to try to do it on a 32 count just so that it'll be a picture frame size, because it's beautiful. So those were all the purchases from Color and Cotton, including the little bag that I did receive. So now I'm going to put this all back in this bag. So when we got finished at Color and Cotton, we checked into our hotel and we stayed the night in Springfield, Missouri. The next morning we, oh, I got a little sticker also. So then we checked out of the hotel, got back on the road, headed towards Silver Needle. When we got to Silver Needle, I actually did the driving from Springfield to Tulsa. And it was a very good drive. We did have some construction delays in the morning, the first morning, but now I can't remember where we were. But anyway, the drive was really good. We went through, we didn't have any problems going from Springfield to Tulsa. No construction or anything like that. When we get to Silver Needle, you could have blown me over. You could have knocked me over with a feather. And again, I'll be putting in pictures of the shops that we went to. So, the next leg of the trip was Silver Needle, Tulsa, Oklahoma. First of all, let me just say, for those of you that live in Tulsa, God bless you, because it was super hot and super humid the whole time we were there. There was one day where I thought it was going to storm. If you follow me on Instagram, you saw the picture that I put up thinking, oh, it's going to storm today. That storm never came. Once the sun broke through those angry looking clouds, it was still hot and humid. I literally am a coffee kind of all day person, but while I was in Oklahoma, and since I've been back, really, I drank 2 cups of coffee and that was it. I was drinking water the whole entire time. It was so hot. It was beautiful though. We were not in downtown Tulsa. We were out a little ways. And so we didn't have to deal with the hustle and bustle. We were right off the interstate, which made getting to Silver Needle every day really pleasant. On the house that we rented was really nice. It was a craftsman style house. I think I took pictures of that, so you may also be seeing that in here. It was a craftsman style house, but they had gutted it and redid the inside to the best of their abilities. There was nothing wrong with the inside, but in some homes you can't take down walls. So they tried to make it an open concept, but part of it was still closed off. Or, you know what I mean, it still had the walls up. Anyway, on the first day, we got there on a Tuesday. The finishing class didn't start till Wednesday. We literally probably spent 3 hours or more just walking around the shop on the first day. When you first go in, they have all these little bags. They have bags. Oh, this isn't mine. Anyway, they have bags like this, and it had my last name on it. And so I could go through the shop and fill up my bag and then check out whenever I was ready. They have a system to where if you spend $220 in the store, you get $15 off, which I actually did spend enough. I spent enough to get the $15 off. I mean, designers that I haven't even heard of. And granted, I haven't been in cross stitch as long as most people have. But just everywhere, every square inch of this shop is packed with shop models. They alphabetize all of the designers' designs by design. So for instance, if they had designer A and all the shop models for that designer was within the space where the charts were, similar to what Keepsakes does. But they took and rubber band groups of charts together by alphabetizing them, and then they're alphabetized. It was just super organized, super clean. Everything was in its place. Like, and if you ask someone, I'm looking for XYZ chart, can you point me in that direction? They have a cataloging system to where they can go to a computer, look at what that name of the chart is, see if they have it in stock, and if they do have it in stock, where in the shop it is. And I'm talking, this shop is big. Like, it was big. There was a lot of stuff. I was so overwhelmed that I literally, they have this big, it's actually, it looked more like a love seat, but it's probably a chair and a half. I like sat there for a long time because it was just so much to take in. And again, I should be putting pictures in. So, it was a lot. It was a whole lot. Super nice. There was a couple of encounters, not me personally, but a couple of people had some encounters. One of the things that was different for me is that you could not touch the fabric. They had it back behind their cutting station, and they would you would have to ask to see, you know, do you have this? What fabric do you have for this? And as a person that doesn't know all the different fabric names and all of that, it was a little disappointing. But everybody has their rules, and I'm just used to Keepsakes, pardon me, and them having the fabric in bins, and you can practically roll around in them if you want to. So that was a little different for me. But they were super friendly at the cutting table. Like, you know, if you wanted to see something, they more than happily pulled it out for you and laid it out. You still couldn't touch it, but it was there for you to see. So that was Tuesday of the trip, and then Wednesday started the finishing class. We decided to take the morning finishing class, and this sweet little lady who is all of 4 feet tall, Miss Mona, it was super nice to meet her. She was super nice. She gave great instruction during this finishing class. I'm going to show you now part of that. So, as you know, I stitched a lot to get prepared for the finishing class. And let me show you what I have managed to get accomplished. Now, some of the pieces are not done for various reasons, but I'm going to show you what I have. So this is a bird on a candlestick, and this raffia is supposed to be tied into a, you know, it's supposed to be tied with bows, with a bow. And I just can't make mine work, so I am actually going to find something different to make a bow down there, and fix it. But the nice part is it actually comes off. This is a picture holder. Actually, this is a picture holder part. This is actually a little candlestick that she put together for us. And then I made this part. So that's my little bird that I made. And then I used this fabric on the back for it. And then she provided the trim and the pins and the boards that are inside of here. And then you just put this on, like slide it up in there, and then you rest it, and it makes a cute little stand up kind of. So that is, and so my plan is to utilize this piece for different seasons. It doesn't necessarily have to be a bird. Whatever I stitch, as long as I can mount it on a board, I can slide it up in here. So that is bird on a candlestick, which is one of the finishes that we have. Then here is the tart tin that I made for my friend for Christmas. And I learned how to make these because the way that she had us do it, I would have never have thought about doing it that way. But you actually, you know, cut out the circle. I did some lacing on it. And you pull it, you know, tight. And then I glued, because I had glued it all down beforehand. I didn't have the opportunity to sew the lady dot trim on it, so I had to glue it on, but it looks great. So that's my tart pan, and this is a large one. They had a smaller one, but because this is a gift, I thought that it would look great to have more of the fabric showing, so that's why I chose the larger size. That, and I thought it would be easier for me. I didn't want to take the easy way out, but it was a lot. Sorry, something is over here, and I'm like, why are you here? So, one of the pieces that I did not get completely finished yet, it was a box. She gave us the box, and inside the box, she gave us this black felt to put in here. This green felt is also part of one of the other finishes, but because I didn't use green in my project, I just kept the felt. So each box has this box has a section. This is a pin keep, and it's mounted on a piece of foam, not foam core, comic board book paper, comic board, you know, the things that they use with comic books. So what I have to do now is take this all apart. It's not really all together, these just pop out. Take them all apart, and I'm going to paint my box. And then there is, so what goes inside the box is, this is one of the pin scissor fobs that I made. It's got fluff on it. This is a scissor fob that I made. And while I was on the way to Missouri, okay, that scared me. While I was on the way to Missouri, I did one 1/1 on 28 count. So here's one. This one is on 28 count, 2/2, and this is 28 count, 1/1. So this will be a small something for something. This is a scissor fob, and that goes inside the box. And then I'm trying to think, what else did I not get done in this? I don't know. But I decided that this was going to be my top. So I still have, it's mounted on the finishing board, which is chipboard. And that'll go on the top like this. And I'll actually have another mounting board behind it with fabric on it. And this is the fabric that I chose for it. I just haven't had a chance yet to. It'll be the same fabric that's on the inside. I just haven't had a chance to do it yet. Plus I haven't painted the box, and I really want to paint that box. She said you don't have to paint the box. You can literally, you know, mount it on here. So maybe I'll just keep it like it is. It doesn't necessarily have to be painted, because if I paint it, and tell me what you think, but if I paint it, I've got to take out these pieces to paint it all, which is not a big deal. She showed us how to do it. I have to take off all the hardware. So let me know what you think, if you think it would be okay for me to just leave it like it is, or if I should paint it. So then this piece is actually going to become a pillow. I brought it home and decided that I can make a pillow here at my house. So there was no need for that. And I am missing, what I am missing is my needle book. And that's what I'll be making out of this. So she provided the felt, the backer board, the batting, and the fabric is my own. So I'll be working on that pretty soon. The reason why I say pretty soon is because all of these pieces can be glued together. However, I am learning whip stitching, and so I am practicing on these little pieces just to see how it goes. You're going to see a piece in a second that like I worked on for the entire week. Oh, and people, please pay your finishers. I know, like, let me tell you, I was in shock when I learned how much finishing. I've had a piece finished. I know how much it costs, but they are not charging nearly enough. And this comes from a person that just took a finishing class and asked the question, how much would you charge for this finish? And was shocked at the amount of money that people are charging or not charging for beautiful finishes. I mean, professional. I mean, if I was doing it, I could see you paying $40. But a finisher doing it, or even if they don't charge a whole lot, maybe slip them a tip or something, because they are not making the amount of money for the time and the effort that goes into all of this finishing. So my last piece that I finished, I just finished this on Thursday, is the stocking. And I literally hand sewed this entire piece together. And that is why I say you have no, unless you are a finisher or unless you ask your finisher certain questions, you have no idea of what goes into making, what is that? Oh, it's a piece of fluff. Into making something like this. I have done it. I know how to do it, but will I ever do this again? One and done for sure. Because literally all of the seams, so there's a box on the inside that I sewed together. I sewed this box together. I don't know if it's going to show it. There it is. There's my whip stitches. So I literally, after gluing all the fabric on the boards, I then sewed each board together, and even the inside sew is all sewn together. Now, is it going to be beautiful at Christmas? And I can even leave it up through, you know, January, because I use snowflakes instead of like a traditional Christmas theme piece or like a Santa or something like that. But there's how my stocking turned out. This fabric actually came from Joann's. I picked it up like a couple of days before we were leaving. And it's beautiful. I love it. And I'm going to use it this winter. I'm going to put some wintry picks in it with some greenery, and it'll be beautiful. You can put candy canes inside because it has that box. Everything is going to sit within the box. So it's beautiful and I love it, but Miss Mona doesn't charge enough to make these. I was really shocked. And I understand, you know, you do all of this work. There's, you know, people won't pay what it's really worth to do this kind of work. It took me hours and hours and hours of sewing. I mean, I sewed on it coming back. I've sewn on it here. Like I said, I didn't get it done until this past Thursday, so. But it's beautiful and I love it. So that was Wednesday and Thursday of the finishing class. We had 7 projects that we worked on. If you ever get a chance to go to Silver Needle for a retreat, please consider taking the finishing class from Miss Mona. It was not very expensive. It was $100, and we got all of the finishing supplies for each project. We also received instructions, written instructions, verbal instructions. She's even sorry, I got something going on here. She's even put out in the Silver Needle Facebook group that if you have questions, if you forgot something, please contact her. Super nice, super friendly, super knowledgeable. Like, she answered a lot of questions. On top of getting that, all of that, she gave us a bag of finishing items, mostly Lady Dot. I think they're all Lady Dot Creates. I'm not for sure. But we got all these little finishing items where we could walk around the room like it was trick or treat and take out, you know, pieces of finishing for us to use in the future or here at home. She then went through her own stash and was selling things for little to nothing, and I have a picture of that I'll insert right here. So it was super fun. I had the best time, and to be honest with you, I would drive back to Silver Needle just to take the finishing class. I am not going back next year. I have decided within my head that there are so many retreats that I want to participate in that once I do one, I'm not going to flip around and do it back to back again for next year. So I'm going to wait a little while. But if they ever did just like a finishing retreat with her, I would sure enough do it, because I had, even though I grumbled and complained about the projects, I know I did, and it was super great to do all of the projects. So now it is Wednesday. It's Thursday, and the retreat is starting. And so let me pause for a second and gather all of those materials, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so when On Thursday evening, we had a introduction to the designers, and a cocktail hour and a dinner hour. So I think I've said on here before that the designers for the retreat were Drawn Thread and Summer House Stitchworks. I got to meet both of those ladies. There should be pictures in the showing up over here somewhere. They were super lovely, great to talk to. They walked around and greeted everyone at the tables, asked if there were any questions. So with that being said, I'm going to first show you the items that we received from the Drawn Thread. This bag is fabulous. We came in and it must have been Friday morning, and all of these bags were sitting at our table. When we first, no, was that Wednesday, Saturday? I'm sure you all saw the frog that we were gifted from the Silver Needle. I was gifted a frog. There were several. There were like 50 different little things to choose from, and it was called the Mingling Morning Mingle. So I'm sure you saw that. So then we received the first thing we received on Thursday was this little bag, and inside this little bag is a design by Cynthia. I was like, what was her name? Cynthia, of the Drawn Thread. And it included a piece of fabric. Let me see. So it was a piece of fabric for this particular design, and it is a Celtic cross. And so this fabric it just says a piece of linen. It's a 32 count. Yeah, because it teaches you how to do a Celtic cross with your name in the. And the color of my floss is Cabernet. It is a Dinky Dyes. Everyone received a silk floss for this project. And so that was super nice. Very knowledgeable. She's been in the industry for a long time. And very loves specialty stitches, and can teach you very easily how to do them. Her instructions are great. So then out of the bag came this beautiful wrapped piece, and the gift that she gave I'm like, why am I confused? Because when I packaged this all back up again, I packaged it differently. So here is the chart that she gave. And I am not going to be intimidated. I am going to work on this chart. Specialty stitches are not special. They're just different. That's what I keep telling myself. And here it is. This is called a Stitcher's Garden. And it is exclusive to the Silver Needle Retreat. And it is full of specialty stitches. But I'm going to be excited. It also, the kit came with a finishing, how to finish it into a tote bag. And then she also provided, there are 4 buttons and a tiny little gold heart, which is included. She also included the fabric, which I'm not sure what count this is. I think in my head, I'm thinking it's a 32 count. Yes, 32 count natural undyed Belfast linen. There are dinky dyes and needlepoint silks, mother of pearl buttons, white buttons, and a heart charm. And you might be hearing that we are getting a thunderstorm and the window is open, so you might hear. So inside this packet is all of the silks that we would need for this piece. And again, I am not going to be intimidated. I am going to, you know, luckily enough, not luckily enough, but thankfully enough, the first few stitches are regular old X's. And so I'm pretty sure that I can do those. She really goes into detail with, I mean, there's 2 pages of what is called for the flosses. And then I'm going to show you on the bottom of the chart where the stitch lies. There are these wonderful diagrams of how to do the stitch. So, you know, this is the diagram, and this is the large, like this says large double eyelet, and it shows you exactly how to go through it. Her patterns, I thought I only had 1 of her patterns. As it turns out, I have 3, now 4, and I love them. One of them was actually a gift to me way back. Miss Dina, Half Stitch Cross Stitch, was giving away a drawn thread, and I won. And she actually sent me the needlepoint. It's not needlepoint silk. It is thread gatherer silk for it. And I have been so intimidated that I haven't even really looked at it twice. I'm going to get that out and get it started, because I'll never learn how to do it if I don't start doing it. So look for that to be coming up on the horizon. So that was the gift from Miss Cynthia at the Drawn Thread. Wonderful lady. Wonderful. Very knowledgeable. Very, this isn't right. Very knowledgeable, very helpful, would answer any questions. She actually sat down at our table and talked to us for a while. So it was very, very nice to meet her. So the next designer, and each day they took a day and talked about the designs and the models that they stitched. So the next day was Summer House Stitch Work Day, and that is Miss Beth Seal. And let me just, there is a lot in this packet that was provided. We did a little make and take, and it was a paper piece that we had to stamp the holes in and sew around. I have not finished putting mine all the way together yet, because I didn't want to take the chance on it getting crushed coming back home. So that was the make and take that we had on Friday. Here is the chart. or here's the chart, not the chart. Here's the design that she came to us with. And it is the Scarlet Aviator. And so the kit comes with everything, including finishing fabric. There's also, she also provided us with a little small. The linen. Here's the linen for it, for both pieces. She even went so far as to give us the interfacing to do the drum with. Finishing fabrics, all of the, she created this little cute floss tag, all of the Weeks Dye Works that goes with it, brick rack. I don't know what that was for. So she also provided the roving, sheep's roving to stuff the drum with, and 2 needles. I mean, she provided everything but the kitchen sink. Here's the fabric for the drum, and there's a piece of felt. So that'll be interesting. And then she also had made by, oh, what was her name? Noteworthy Needle. Noteworthy Needles made all of these little beeswaxers. They are the mold was hand carved for this. Just extraordinary. Extraordinary, extraordinary, extraordinary. Just all the things that go with, to make all the things. And that is one thing about going to retreats. I've noticed the designers are very generous in what they provide. And so it makes it, you know, you think at first, oh, it's a gift. And it is a gift. Because some, like with the finishing class, I would have never thought of getting all of the stuff that we got for $100. And so you think, well, you really are paying for it. Yeah, but all the time it takes to do the packaging, all the time to get it all prepared, to think about the design, to do all the things. It's a wonderful experience. If you have not been able to travel to a retreat, please try to find one locally or within close proximity that you can drive to, so that you can experience all the wonder of a retreat. It is really, really, really nice. This actually has 2 charts in it. So it has a sampler. It says Summer House Stitch Works, Rebecca's Primer. So it has this little sampler chart, and then it also has this little pin cushion. And then we also received this little gift. Now, I can't tell you who this is from. It was just sitting on the, but it includes the finishing. It's a little drum. It'll be a little tiny drum, and it includes all of the things there to finish, to stitch it and to finish it. So that was Silver Needle. We stayed there until, so the retreat ran from Thursday to Saturday. And we stayed, where's my notes? Look, I done moved my little notebook out the way and everything. I'm like, where am I? So we stayed there until Saturday evening, the retreat. Hello again, everyone. This is Candy. I was editing my video and realized that I went the whole video and never talked about what I have for investments from Silver Needle. So I am dropping in this little snippet to show you what I did pick up. So here we go. When you register for the retreat, they passed you out this little baggie, and it had Jelly Bellies in it, a pencil, and all of the itinerary for how the retreat was going to go. And it also had in there a gift for us. The gift was a fat quarter of any fabric of your choice. And so I picked up this piece of, it's a 40 count slate. That's all it says. A fat quarter, 40 count slate. And you got, you know, it was included in the registration. I'm like trying to think because I'm all discombobulated because literally I was editing the video and turned around and realized that I hadn't even discussed any of the things that I had purchased at the Silver Needle. So I'm going to have to figure out how to drop this in. Okay. So the next thing that I picked up were 3 of these velveteen packs from Lady Dot, and I am thinking that I am going to be using this on top of the stocking. So it has a piece of velveteen, and then, I mean, that's Purple Rain right there. And then a piece of, I don't know what this is called, but I thought it would look cute around the top of my stocking. The jury's still out on that, though. What is this, Lady Dots? It's chenille. So I have 3 packs of that. Which I'm going to put in my finishing supplies. If I decide to add it to the stocking, then I'll have it available to me. That's why I picked it up. Okay, so they had a whole wall of, someone passed out these floss tags. I didn't have a name. And then also passed out a needle book, a needle holder. So they had a whole, I don't even know how many bins it was, of discounted merchandise. It was discounted up to 50%. So in that bin, I found my daughter's zodiac sign, which I was super excited about. This is a Mill Hill kit that Janet Jabber is actually working on for her daughter. So I was so happy to find this one. I didn't find the one for my other 2 children, but I'll find them somewhere at some point. Then they had, I picked up this Meridian Designs bikini. If you recall, I'm in a bikini style that I haven't started. I haven't finished mine yet, but this is a Christmas bikini, which I thought was super cute. And this is a Summer Melons bikini. Again, these were all 50% off. And then I found I'm gonna just put my finger over it. I found Columbus by Tiny Modernist, so I thought that was really nice. It's my hometown. Then, you know, I'm always looking for, or not always looking for, but if I see one, I pick it up, is a snowflake ornament by JBW Designs. I don't know why, and I might already have it, because, you know, last year she was the, not last year, this year, she was the Stitch Away designer for keepsakes. And so I might already have this. So if I do have it, then it'll be in a giveaway. And then I thought I would try my hand at some Mill Hill kits. They had, I mean, just a wall. You'll see it. I hope I recorded it or took pictures of it in the video. You'll probably already be seeing what I'm talking about. But I picked up Advent Trilogy. And that was number 1. That was set 1. And then this is set 2. And the reason I picked these up was not necessarily to do them on this perforated paper, but to give them as little ornament gifts at Christmas time. So you'll see me start to stitch these. They're very, very tiny. So I'm hoping to be able to maybe put them in those little wooden hoops that are floating around now. So we'll see. The next thing I picked up, I have been watching the photo booth by Bent Creek. I've watched Miss Shelia do some. I've watched other Flosstubers do some. And so I was super excited when I saw that they had all of them. Like, all of them. So I picked up Snowmen. And you see them playing with their, like, they took their noses off. One is holding up fingers behind the other one's heads. They wrapping themselves in their scarves. Like, this is super cute to me. And it came as a kit, so I have the fabric and the beads. All you have to do is add the floss. So that's super cute. Then I found this, it's called the Ohio Sampler. And I have never heard of, it's called Lone. It's inspired by the Ohio Star quilt pattern. So it's called the Ohio Sampler. And I'm trying to see Lone Elm Lane, maybe. Lone L Lane is who designed this chart. It does not have like when it was designed. There is no real information on it, but I thought that was really pretty, so I picked that up. And the Ohio Star quilt block is one of my favorite quilt blocks, so I love it. And here's how they have it finished on the back. I don't know about getting that little box, but I like that round finish. So the next item I picked up was from Satsuma Street, and it is a purple turtle. Then I picked up a Mary Englebright, and it says, underestimate, go ahead, underestimate me. This will be fun. And I love this chart. I've seen one of the other ones stitched by Miss Minnie, all X's, where she's sitting in a chair, but I liked this one, so I picked it up. Then the next couple of charts. So I went on a Plum Street kick, and I picked up This I Know. Tortoise Tower. I had never seen this before. And I know it's a different kind of turtle, but turtle nonetheless. And then I have Goodbye Fall, so I purchased Hello Fall. and I will be on the hunt for all of the hello and goodbye charts. I love them. Stitched on a 36 count, 153 by 83. So it'll be okay. Then I found this ink circles chart that I had never seen before. I was like, what in the world is going on? So here's my plan. It says celebrate diversity, and it has all of these different kind of cocktails. Well, I'm not big on drinking, but celebrate diversity, I don't need to say anything else. That's the part I'm going to stitch. Celebrate diversity, just so that I have it like posted up somewhere. So this will be started sooner rather than later, because we all need to celebrate diversity. And then the last purchase from the Silver Needle was shocking to me. I picked up, I really don't like the price tags on the front of the things. So that's what I'm taking off, is the price tag. I picked up Work of the Heart cross stitch Peacemaker by Teresa Kogut. She is the closest one that looks African American to me. I am still going to do a skin conversion on her, but this is the closest I've seen of an African American looking angel that she has done. And I love angels, so I have decided that I'm going to stitch this piece. And for those of you that know Teresa Kogut, it is a big chart. It is 168 by 159. It's actually stitched on a 35 count. Parchment Linen by Weeks Dye Work. So I'll have to find something to stitch her on. And see about perhaps making a color conversion just of her skin. Well, I'm going to make a color conversion. So those were my purchases at the Silver Needle. I hope you enjoyed those. I'm going to go back to the regular video now. I hope that I've figured out how to put this in so it doesn't mess up the rest of the video. So I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Tree actually ended around 4 p.m. And then I got to meet my friend Cheryl, the Blue Nose Stitcher. She is also on Flosstube under Fickle Stitches. And I'll put a picture in here of us. She came over to the house and we talked and laughed and stitched a little bit together. It was super nice meeting you, Cheryl. Hopefully one day soon I'll get to meet Kate also, but it was great. She stayed over for a couple of hours, so it was really nice to really sit and get to know her. And we stitched just a tiny bit, but it was really a fun time. It was something different for me, because, you know, I'm in a house with a bunch of other ladies, and then I invite a lady over, which they were all super fine with it. You know, unfortunately, there was something going on, and we all couldn't sit around and stitch, but we had a good time. Me and Cheryl did. And so, Cheryl, thank you so very much. I appreciate you coming over and spending some time and meeting me. It was great to meet you, and if I'm ever in Tulsa again, I'll make sure to be in touch with you. Okay, I am going to go check my windows because now the rain is pouring down, and I will be right back. Okay, everything is okay. No water in the house anywhere. So the last stop that we made, and it was unplanned, was to a quilt shop. We went to Backdoor Quilts, which was in Greenwood, Indiana. Very nice shop. The ladies were very helpful. Lots of different fabric choices, lots of different, all kinds of things of choices. I actually almost picked up some paper, no, let me say this, EPP papers, because there's a difference between paper piecing and EPP. And so I almost picked them up, but I didn't. I left them sitting right there. I was like, one more thing you do not need right now. So it was funny though, because I was like, we had been talking about EPP and in the car, and I was like, man, that would be a nice thing to work on while you're sitting in the car. You could just sew. And I know that Christine Stitch All the Things, she has done that in the past while on trips. She has worked on English paper piecing. That's what EPP stands for. And so I was like, oh, that would be something nice to work on. You know, I'm still working on that whole crochet thing. I don't think I'm a hooker. I really don't. I'm going to keep at it though, because I can do it. I can do it. But, okay. So, let me show you what I got at Backdoor Quilts. I am preparing for Christmas. And so, I have a couple of things that I would like to sew for Christmas as gifts. And so, I picked up 2 fat quarters of Lori Holt's. This is one of her, I don't know what, that was interesting. I don't know what fabric line this is from. Oh, it's Stitched. And so I picked up 2 fat quarters of this, and they're little stitched flowers on red. Can I get that back in there? No, I can't. So that was one thing that I picked up. I'm trying to put the little tag back on it, but it's not working, so I'm going to move on. The next thing I picked up was some embroidery needles. And I can't remember now why I picked these up. I'm sure it'll come to me. I had done a lot of the hand sewing, and I had borrowed, or she gave them to me. Miss Susan gave me 2 needles. And so, once I was using those, I bent them up. But they're very thin needles, so they're easy to bend. But bending them also meant that it was easier for me to sew with them. So I also bought some applique needles. And these are Lori Hope brand. And I bought, oh, there's various sizes in the, they all have 18 needles in them, but they're various sizes. I had a cute idea to use some twill tape, so I bought some of this measuring twill tape. And I bought a couple of patterns. One of them is called Hidden Gems. The other one is called Penny Candy. And then I bought this one because I love a table topper, and so I thought that it would be good for me. I've never really made, I've made one, but I like this pattern, so I picked it up. And this is a table topper. This pattern is by This and That Patterns. This one is by Trisha Lynn Maloney, Orphan Quilt Designs. And this one was designed by Melissa Milligan. So I would like to get started on that. And then the last thing that I purchased at the quilt shop was 2 yards, and this is an out of print fabric by Coriander Quilts. So I don't know if you will recognize it. It's not old. It's not old at all. I'm trying to get to the name. Oh, Beautiful Day. I don't see when it was, but it's Beautiful Day, and it's a large scale print that I have plans for. So I picked that up. So that was on Monday, and we came on in on Monday. I got home around 6 p.m. and immediately went to bed. After I calmed Albert down and talked to him to find out what was going on all week while I was gone, we had a good conversation. Everything went fine, you know. His sister took good care of him. I went to bed. I was exhausted. And even was exhausted Tuesday, Wednesday. I started coming around on Thursday. But we gained an hour in Missouri and Oklahoma. So if it was 2 o'clock in Ohio, it was 1 o'clock. I stayed up really late and got up early most nights. It was fun though. Since I've lived alone now, well, you know, my daughter's here, but she sleeps here a lot. She don't really stay here a lot. So to be with 4 people or 3 other people, and then add in 2 more people, because there were 6 of us that stayed at the house. It was a lot of peopling and socializing and all the time, especially when we were at Silver Needle. You know, all the people walking around talking. I was talking to other people. There was a Carolyn Manning design that I had been watching. What was the name of it? I'll put a picture of it here. This is a finish of Granny is No Square #1, and it was done by Shauna and Duda. Shauna and Duda finished this while we were at the Silver Needle retreat. So I was walking around looking at other people's things. My friend Laura from Kentucky was there. My friend Miss Gail, who I was so happy to see, she was there. There were 160 of us in the retreat, and so that is a lot for a person like me to stay that high up on energy and just keep trying to push through. So when I got home, it took all I could do to get here, and then when I got here, I loved on my dog and I went to bed because I had to work Tuesday. So now that I have gone through all of the week of Silver Needle, I thank you if you have stayed with me on the journey. I really do appreciate it. I am now going to move into my new start, my whips. and a finish that I have. I'll then go into what my plans are, and if it's not too much investments for you, I'm going to do my monthly, the investments that I had when I came back home. So let's just go through the basket. New start. Oh shoot, I also bought this bag at Color and Cotton. I thought there was something I was missing, so let me show you. So I am starting I have started Queen Bee by Tiny Modernist, and I thought she deserved her own bag, and so I picked this one up at Color and Cotton. This is the inside, and the outside has all of these words on it. It has a really cute zipper pull with a big B on it. So this was another purchase at Color and Cotton. So here is, oh, I need to take this out. So here's my chart by Tiny Modernist. Ugh. I need to see what day I started this on. I started Queen Bee on Sunday, July the 16th. And I started it, I started with the moon. And here is where I am now. I am stitching this on a 28 count Clouds by Atomic Ranch. You can just barely see. Oh, I bought a Queen Bee needle minder also at Color and Cotton. So I am going to be doing this 28 count 1/1, or 1/1 on 28 count. And the wonderful Miss Susan, I have it in my Miss Dina made these. These are floss holders, but it has been kitted up entirely with silks, and so this is what I will be using to stitch Queen Bee with. So I did get a nice start on her, not 200 stitches. So before the end of the month comes up, I actually have, is it on here? No. I don't believe I have, let me see, 54, that's 11, 100. So I have over 100 and maybe almost close to 200 stitches in her. I should have calculated that before I started recording this, but I will be putting some more stitches in on her to get her to 200 before I put her away. The one thing about this one, like, it's not counting for anything as of right now, so I don't need to fret. No fretting over the oh, this was, bless her heart. So Miss Susan also provided me with floss tags for all of the flosses. She's wonderful. And I have never worked with this many silks before, so it'll be awesome. I am going to keep them in the little floss protector so that nothing snags them. And this floss protector was a gift from Miss Dina at the Stitching in the Wilds retreat. So that is my new start, Queen Bee. Okay, so now we're going to move into my whips. And these are just in the order in which I wrote them down. I have been able to get my stitch groove back. Being away for a week, believe it or not, I actually did not stitch a whole lot at the retreat. I mostly worked on finishing because I wanted to have finished products when I came back for my content. I know me, if I come back and it's not started or worked on a lot, then it will get set aside and I'll, oh, I'm going to come back to that. And then 2 years later, I'm looking at it going, what is this and where did I get it from? So I decided that I was going to live in the moment and work on the finishing as I needed to work on it. Especially with hand sewing a finish together. I have not done hand sewing. When I have made quilts, I machine bind them, so I don't like that whole whip stitching thing. It took me a minute to get the hang of it, but I wanted to make sure that I had some finished products when I came back, so that it will encourage me to finish the rest of them. And that's what one of the things in my plans for this week. So my whips for this week, let's start off with, ooh, don't you fall over, Summer Quakers. And if you recall, I was working in this area here, and here is a picture of where it was when I last showed it. And here is where I am now. As you can see, I finished this motif, and I am almost finished with the flower here. Actually, nope, I did put them in. I don't know if I picked up the wrong floss, but the flower in the picture does not look like my flower, this right here. But if the stitching is correct, it'll stay just like it is, because those are my colors, so I'll be okay with that. So next, when I pick this up, today is Sunday, and it is 5:24 in the evening. Chances are I will not get to stitch on this today. When I come back, I will work on the start of the big potted flower that goes in this section, depending upon where I am when I look at the charts. I am stitching this on this is being stitched on a 28 count Palomino by Atomic Ranch, and I am using the called for Valdani threads on it, 3 strands as it comes off the ball, and that's where I am now with it. I am super excited. Miss Karen Kluba will be at Keepsakes in 2 weeks, and I will be going down for the meet and greet portion of her being here, and I am super excited to actually meet her in person. As all of you know, I love Rosewood Manor charts, and I'm actually collecting them, so it will be great to meet her. I'm not going to take all of my charts down there. I might just take 1 or 2 for her to autograph for me. Maybe a couple of the newer ones, because I have several of the ones that are much older. That's what happens when you collect. I look on freebie tables looking for them all the time. So that was Summer Quakers. My next whip is Love and Joy by the October House Fiber Arts. And that is what this looked like. It'll be close. It probably won't look exactly like this. And here's a picture of where it was when I last showed it. And here is where I am now. So, So while I was at retreat, I managed to fill in this line here. I also have started working on it goes up and comes down and goes up and comes down. And I've also worked on putting in the bottom border. Where's my picture? Here it is. So within this chart somewhere I am off, and I'm not even bothering looking for it at this point. What I have decided to do is I am going to, which is out of my wheelhouse and not normal for me, but I've decided to go ahead on and put in the border all the way around to see if it meets up. And then I will go back inside because it's off in here somewhere. I am over one too many stitches here, starting with this. Starting with this over here. I'm off by one somewhere. So what I've decided to do is wait and do this part and make sure that that the border matches up, because I know once the border matches up, I can make the rest of it fit with inside the borders. I just don't want to start stitching and then all of a sudden, like, I'm really off and I can't finagle putting everything in the way it needs to be. So that's what I'm going to do right now when I pick this up again. I have actually met my goal of 200 stitches on this. I met the goal this morning, and so I will be putting her away for a little while. But that's where I am on it. It will be one of my goals to pull this back out so that I can work on it, because I really want to get it finished. I have been working on this project for quite some time, off and on, and it's time. If I don't make it to get it finished this year, then it will be one of my Melanie Watkins group finishes. So we'll have to see how it comes about, because I really want to get it finished, but I know that having an error in it is going to make it also a little tricky for me. So okay, my next project that I worked on, and this one actually did get worked on at the retreat also for a little bit, is the one that I have affectionately named the Rose. And here's a picture of where it was when I last showed it. And here is where I am now. So I brought the stem all the way down. I put in this first leaf. It is completed. I started working on the second leaf. It has the darkest of the green in. And I also put in this little piece down here. I don't even know what that piece is for, to be honest with you. It must be a leaf, you know, like a leaf, budding leaf coming out. So that's where I am on the rose. I did meet my stitch goal on this, which was nothing, because it was actually for the categories, which the letter was R. So this is Rose, and then it is also Rosewood Manor. And I think I also have it down for the color red. So it met 3 different prompts for categories, and I'll be uploading those pictures soon. I am stitching this on a 28 count truffle cashel linen. Seems like Queen Anne's lace to me, but that's what my papers say. And I'm using the call for DMC colors with it. I think this is Queen Anne's lace, because I remember I scorched this fabric and about had a heart attack, and I just saw the scorch on it. Okay, I don't know if you're hearing the thunder and lightning, but I hope it's not too loud for you. So the next project that I worked on, now these have all been just since I've been back home. I didn't stitch very much on any of my projects that I took. I took a lot of projects and hardly stitched on any of them. But this next one is Half the Fun by Ink Circles. And half the fun this month is the H in Hippo. And here's a picture of where it was when I last showed it. And here is where I am now. So if you recall, the last time you saw this, I had just put in all of these stitches over here. I now have put in the cruise ship on this side, so I will be working towards the middle as I go along. I still have another train, so I have another train like this to put over here before I can get down to the middle part of the hot air balloons. So there's a train. There's actually quite a bit of things that need to go in here before I get down to the middle. So I'll just be plugging away at it. This was used again as the H. No, it wasn't. It was used as the I. Did I say the H? Sorry. This is used as the I in Hippopotamus, and I did meet my stitch goal of 300. I put in 354 stitches in this. And I still love it. It'll be going away for a little while, but you know, anytime that they call a I in the Acrostic in Magazine Monthly, I use an Ink Circles piece. So I don't know when you might see it again, but I am loving this piece. So, but now it seems as though, did I put that in there right? That you know, when I get a letter or need to do anything within the road trip, I just start pulling out charts now and getting things to where I can use 2 or 3 things for a couple of, use one chart for a couple of prompts, so that I, double dip. I like double dipping. And it's pouring down again, so I hope it's okay. Okay. The next project I'm going to show you, and of course, is Purple Rain. and it is by Heaven and Earth Designs. It is a mini, and the chart designer is Michelle Sayete. But there he is in all his glory. And here's a picture of where I was when I last showed it to you. It's okay, man. It's just thunder. He don't like the loud booms, that's for sure. And here is where it is now. As of today, I have in 1,496 stitches, and I am 2.12% completed. Let me see if I can really recall. So I have brought the stitches over more over here, and then I came back to the beginning and started again. Where my Q-snap was hitting, I wasn't able to go over all the way. So I'm going to have to get a bigger Q-snap, because it goes all the way over to here, I believe. If I'm not mistaken, it will literally be all the way over here. So I put in some more stitching over here. And then when I first started this, I started it at 10. I was trying to do a 10 by 10 block. As it turned out, I ended up going down to 12. So now I am evening up my stitches all the way across. So now I'm going, this is hard to show. I'm going all the way across to make all of the rows meet. There is a lot of open space and some ninja stitching in here. This is a whole different color. Where'd my paper go? Oh, I folded it up and put it in. So, by all estimates of what I can tell, that is where all those stitches are. Because there are very few dark purple in that area. So I'm thinking that that is about where I am, is in this area right here. Because again, all of the stitches with no purple, that only makes sense to me. So, but before I start putting that in, I want to get all the way over to the end with the one color. I am so I have watched Stitching Mommy, Sarah, do the typewriter method, and I guess that's kind of what I'm doing. I picked the top, whatever the symbol is in the top row, and I just keep going across. However, I don't want to go too far across without making sure that the bottom is going to be okay. So it is strange, but it's working for me. And I am super proud of myself. I did make all of the stitches for the Tour de France, which was 1,027 stitches. I met that goal. This was also my WIPGO call for my friend Carolyn Zook, who was number 21. Number 21 was Carolyn's choice, and she chose Purple Rain, so that worked out well. I met my WIPGO challenge of 700 stitches, and I also met, oh, I said that, the Tour de France. So for this month, I've stitched a total of 1,043 stitches on Purple Rain. And I know it's just a bunch of purple, but the accomplishment of getting it meeting my goal on this project was just phenomenal. It really helped that it was also a WIPGO. I'm going to hopefully get myself together and start posting in the WIPGO Facebook group. I'm always looking in there. I don't know why I can't just be like, take a picture and put it in there. However, he is going away for a couple of weeks. Yeah, I'm not going to pull him out again until either the 7th or the 8th. One of the Zoom groups that I'm in, we have full coverage stitch day on the 8th of every month. However, Prince's birthday is on the 7th, so I might stitch on him on the 7th and the 8th. I am not going to do like I did last year and give a determined number of stitches. I'm going to stitch on it until I get tired of stitching on it. Whether that be 100 stitches or 500 stitches. It's just going to depend. I don't want to tie myself down or put too much on myself to where I don't meet goals. So I'm going to be pulling him out on the 7th and or the 8th and putting in as many stitches as I feel like putting in. But I'm super happy with my progress now. This is a case that he is housed in, and it was made by my friend Debbie. And this is what I put him in. I need to look and see if he is actually on my WIP list. I don't think he is. But I need to fix that. So that was Tour de France and WIPGO. And so check. And my last WIP for this time is where'd the paper go? This is Twisted Band Sampler by Northern Expressions Needleworks. This is a picture of what it will look like when it is completed. When you last saw it, I was in this area. And here's a picture of what it looked like when you last saw it. And here's where it is now. So, I completed the next band. Right there. And I have started working on the flowers. So, this was Miss Shelia's WIPGO call. And I completed it. I have put in exactly, yep, exactly 700 stitches down to the stitch. And so that's where I am on that. Again, now that it's further away, you can see it's just a little bit lighter than this band here. And this is very interesting to me. Once I literally, and I am not a bottom to top stitcher normally, but interestingly enough, once I got my stitch pattern, I literally went from the bottom up to the top with no issue. Like, I knew exactly, I didn't have to look at the chart or anything because I knew exactly what the stitch pattern was. It was the same for this band also, but it was so easy to get the stitch pattern down and just fly through it. But that is what 700 stitches looks like. So I'm super pleased. Thank you, Miss Shelia, for and Carolyn, for your participation in my WIPGO for this month. I really appreciate both the projects that you called for me, and it really did help me get along, you know, get some good work in. So thank you both so very much. Okay, so those were my WIPs for this week. I'm gonna have to get me one of those little tubes and put this in there. I'm gonna eventually have to put it on a rod, a scroll rod, I'm sure, because it's so long. Or I'm gonna have to figure out some kind of way to roll it up and tighten it and all of that. So those were my 2 WIPGOs met for this month. I'm so super excited. Okay, so one last thing. Yesterday, Keepsakes had their summer stitch day. This was actually day number 2. They started last weekend on the 15th. They had day number 1, and because I was out of town, I had to go to day number 2. It was super fun. There should be pictures popping in, as you can on over here or somewhere. I had a great day of stitching with my friends. I got to see people that I haven't seen since StitchCon or even Stitch Away. So it was great to be around my Stitchy family, that's what I call them, and hang out for a little while, and try to get my groove back in with, you know, a smaller group of people. It was fun though. I had a good time. The drive was nice. We had good weather yesterday. It's pouring down today, but we had good weather yesterday. And so it was great to be there. So thank you guys so very much. I am always so happy to be around all of you all. Okay, so now I have one last thing to share. I have a finish. So if you notice, I haven't really talked very much about the road trip. It was kind of difficult for me to be on the road trip and be on a road trip. Wasn't really happening. So, but when I got back home, one of the prompts for the road trip, where I am starting at, I am at the finishing touch in Louisville, Kentucky. And the prompt is: stitch on your WIP closest to a finish. If you finish before reaching the total travel stitches, which is 350, you have arrived. No further stitches required. And so, of course, if you watched my Christmas winter, I'm going to figure out a name for that. My winter Christmas WIP parade, you saw me say, oh my goodness, this only needs a few stitches. And so on Friday night, I pulled out the naughty list and I finished it. And I am so I'm very happy to have it completed. There's what it looks like. What makes me like, what in the world were you thinking? I only had to stitch 45 stitches on this in order to get it finished. So let me show you what I did. I put in this snowflake down here. I put in these 3 white little motif things. And I put the red on the holly. That was it. And it was finished. And so that was super exciting for me. I don't know why I didn't finish this when I last worked on it. With 45 stitches, you'd have thought I'd have just kept right on going and be done with it. But it's finished now. And that makes me excited. So hopefully I can get this FFO'd in time enough for the Christmas season. I am going to put it in my little box of amazement. It is not a box of shame. It is a box of accomplishment, because it takes a lot to finish something. And I'm not going to call it a box of shame. It's a box of accomplishment. So that is where I am on my finish. I actually wrote down the list, like I said I was going to, for all of those whips that looked like they didn't need a whole lot more stitching on them. I took that list down, and I'm going to start pulling from that list with my acrostics, even though they're winter, so that I can get them finished. Like those, they don't have a lot of stitches left in them. Even though, you know, Jolly July, Christmas stitching in July, all of that is going to be over. I can find and work on a little winter piece for 20, 30, 40, 50 stitches to get it completed. That means way more than doing the whole seasonal stitch thing. So I'm going to be trying to incorporate those into my acrostics and road trip for the next couple of months, so that I can get them completed. So now I'm going to move on to plans. I'm going to take a drink because I've been talking so much. I'm really dry. So now I have plans, and here are my plans. I still need to do, and I have 1 week and a day. 1 week and a day to get this done. So for the H in Hippo, I've lost sight of it. It was Hello from Liz Matthews, and it is Butterfly Cloche. I will be starting that. I also need to put in, for this week, I need to start Butterfly Cloche, and I need to put in 141 stitches in my magazine monthly for Temperature Butterfly. It is the theme for Safari, because you see butterflies on Safari. I need to prep for Autumn Cloche, which is going to be a start with me and Angie from Tiny House Stitchery. Is it Tiny House Stitch? It's Tiny House Stitches. Me and Angie from Tiny House Stitches. We are starting Autumn Cloche on August the 1st. So if you have Autumn Cloche, if you want to start Autumn Cloche, please jump in and start along with us. She has not told me what a hashtag is or anything yet, so I will wait for her to let me know. And I still need to prep for August for the magazine monthly. I haven't even printed off the sheet yet, so I'm behind the 8 ball on that, and I want to get that done before Wednesday or Thursday of this week. So not a whole lot of plans. Hello from Liz Matthews. Butterfly Cloche is going to take up the bulk of the week. I am going to jump in and get those 141 stitches in on Temperature Butterfly. I still need to do the veining, and I'm looking at it right now. The one butterfly doesn't even have its wings yet. It just has its body. So I'll be working on that as my 25/7 for this week, because I can do 25/7 in the morning before I get up. So that's what I'm going to be doing. So when I come back at you on Saturday, you'll see I'll be to make my goals. I'm going to be steadfast and make my goals. So let me show you a couple of other things that monthly come in. I'm not going to take this out of the package. I did get my Floss Fix from Fat Quarter Shop. It has in here Bramble Bush, Brandied Pears, Brown Hen, Brown Sugar, Bunny Honey, and Calico Kitty. So that's what's inside the package. I requested a new t-shirt from my friend Athena, and I had my logo you know, I've had my logo shirt for a couple of years now, and so I wanted it to update. And so she made me a new one with a V-neck. Her t-shirts are wonderful. If you have not checked her out yet, please do so. I will put a link down below to her Facebook group. So I got a new updated logo shirt. And a wonderful little card. I love you, Athena. Thank you. I also received, this was while I was out of town, I received my coloring. Terrible, ain't it? Like, you could have just saved it. I'd have picked it up and saved you some shipping and handling. I received my coloring cotton, and this is called Milk and Tea. That's pretty good. And I get a 32 counts, quarter of a yard. And I didn't talk very much about this next item last month. I'm not very patriotic stitching I don't do it very much. I will eventually do the July project, but I received my Pine Mountain designs for August, so I will be getting started on this. And look at them cute little bees. They included the everything to make those cute little bees. So this one will be cute. It's a bee scap and August with the bees. We gotta save the bees, y'all. If we don't save the bees, we won't be living long. Days the pollinators. So I was going to, they sent the little felt balls to make bees with. That's going to be a cute little project. I'm going to be getting started on this really quickly. And the last thing that I have to show was I received, this is my Tiny Town. And I received the chart and the fabric. And I went with the called for fabric, which, oh, she put a special thank you in here for Miss Barbara. I was trying to see where 32 count Shrekie's tan linen is what I chose to have mine. And so this is what that looks like. So I will be, I haven't heard if there's a hashtag or if there's a start along or anything like that. So I'll just keep my ear to the ground and see. And if not, then I'll start it whenever I feel like I'm ready to start it. Maybe I'll wait and start it in January at Stitch Away. But then there'll be something else to start at Stitch Away in January. So who knows? But I am excited about it. It's really cute. It's a really cute design. And so it'll be nice to get it started. I've been looking at a couple of the other ones, like Christmas Tiny Town. But I got so many charts that I have. Oh yeah, I'm gonna start this. I want this. I want that. That I need to like pace myself a little better, because I have charts that I really wanted to stitch that I haven't gotten to yet. So we're gonna see. I'm actually thinking I I saw this on Lori Holt's video where she pulled out 2 charts or 3 charts and was like, tell me which ones y'all think I should start. Maybe I'll do something like that. I'm not sure yet. I don't want to be overwhelmed either, but I hope you all are doing very well. I know here in Ohio the heat has been really bad. Not as bad as Oklahoma, so count your blessings. But it has been bad. All over the United States, they are recording record heat and heat index all over the United States. So please, please, please check on your family members, your elderly family members, your elderly neighbors. Heat like this really takes a toll on them, and you know, you would hate to have something happen and you know you're right next door and wasn't able to help them. So also make sure that your dogs are getting hydrated. Albert has really been panting a lot, which is not like him. So I just keep refilling his bowl, and he just drinks and drinks and drinks. So also make sure, and I know I have air conditioning and I don't use it, but like he's under a ceiling fan most of the day. And so he's not excruciating hot. But please make sure you check on both the elderly and the pets and make sure that they're doing well. If you have hung in here this long with me, I thank you so very much. I never in a million years thought I would ever get to a 2-hour video. Never in a million years. And now I have to edit it. So I thank you all so very much for your kind words and encouragement always. I will talk to you again on Saturday. I hope you have a great week. And enjoy these last days of summer. I know summer, we still got August to go through, but I know some people are going back to school and vacationing, and vacations are over, and like I won't be traveling anymore until November, so I'll be housebound. Not really. I'll only be housebound because I want to be maybe. But stitching, there's always stitching. So take care, and I'll talk to you soon. Good night.